Okay, this is okay here, and we're going to stream the match between ZodiacBlitzer and penguingim1. I'm very late to this match because ZodiacBlitzer has already rushed off to a 4-1 lead. And we'll catch up to those games in a second. There's been some fabulous games. Game 6 we're just watching now. It's a London system. So this is something looks very similar to what I would play myself. Takes the bishop, f3. Ooh, bishop h3 is a little bit of surprise. And he's just ignoring g2, so g2 is slightly weak for him. He's given up the queen, so whose attack is fast? He protects g2 now, and it's white to play. Just to say something, ZodiacBlitzer is in fact Chewy the Chewer. Correct. It's the correct move to defend with the bishop, because if you defend with the pawn, takes, and g2 is weak. So defending bishop is very good because bishops defend backwards. Both very strong players, 2400 plus. Okay, so we see pawn at f2, and the idea is if takes, queen at e1. Yeah, what is the idea? Well, this is pleasing. This is pleasing to black. If you can force white to go king takes, that's pleasing, because there's ideas of queen there, check, blocks, knight here, takes, and bishop here was potentially mate. I don't know why he didn't play it. Queen d2 and knight g4 looked like it was mating. Okay, we see another f2, and now we're going to see the original idea of c2. What was the idea? Because if you go queen check, queen block, presumably. So queen check takes here is what he wants, but there's always queen. Okay, so so the threat is queen at e1 check from black here. Oh, he hasn't defended. I'm not sure if he's defended queen at e1 check properly. Yeah, this is going to be painful for white. So Penguin in good shape here to come back and take this to 2 games to 4 and maybe make a comeback. He's going to be picking up a lot of material here. And white has nothing in hand, so he can just keep on plugging away. So the threat here is just simply knight e2, maybe pick up. So white's got bishop and rook, so no direct threats. Knight e2, and what's the follow-up? Or he could have... Yeah, that's good as well. So if bishop takes, he's taking this bishop with check. So that's quite annoying. Could just... Yeah, probably doesn't want to pick up the queen, give away too much, but I guess this is better. So what's the threat? Rook takes knight and knight at f2. Is that an idea? Let's just open up the Discord. So hello anyone who's listening on the Discord as well. And feel free to join in. We're live streaming. I just saw this match. I'm very late to it. I might just do some quick catch up at the end of this game of the first few games if I have a chance. But this game was too interesting already when I joined it. Okay, so his queen's under attack, and he just decides to go for a counter attack, but he doesn't really have material, or does he? Yeah, I mean f7 is covered, so you could have just gone back. Okay, knight takes queen is taking the queen with checks, never a problem. Knight takes bishop. I mean, as long as you're not getting mated, you can just keep on taking things. It looks like black was a little bit nervous about getting mated. But knight takes bishop just looked fine. He's never going to, yeah, I mean, the knight is covering any weak squares, so. Okay, Penguin playing a bit nervously. But again, the bishop's covering weak squares. So he's covering everything, but somehow white's suddenly fairly safe. And black's still got a huge material advantage, so I imagine. I think Penguin is fast though, and that will be the decider. He's also got a hook now into position with h3 g2, so it's going to be all over. Yeah, but definitely was made to work hard for the game. Knight. It's really being made to work hard this game. Another queen comes in, and now queen takes will be checkmate after bishop takes. Bishop takes, queen takes. Oh, okay. That's a. So taking it easy now. It was pretending it was under control the whole time. And white's still fighting on, but not much hope. So black going for the take all the pieces approach. Gara says stalemate coming soon. It is actually possible. He's got no pieces in hand. Interesting. The knight can't move. Yeah, the knight can't move. So if there's a queen on d4, that could be that would be a stalemate. This is dangerous. It's actually dangerous. He can still push these pawns, and he's doing that exactly that. Okay. I guess we have to watch for the lols. Okay, white's still got some moves. Yeah, he's still got a7, for example, and pieces in hand as well. Oh, interesting. So queen takes knight a7, so it's still not mate. I'm still not. No stalemate ideas. Takes. Queen takes rook is mate. He doesn't want mate. Okay. He wants to get rid of the rook, I think. But then what does he do with the rook? Because then he could throw rooks with check. Yeah, knights are not so convenient. The rook was actually a good piece to have in hand. Oh, he's got a rook in hand. Oh, there are ideas now. Wait. Because he's still got king a4 exactly. Now rook checks are an idea. But okay, he got mated then. Okay. So let's just quickly catch up some of the games to start with. So in game one, ZodiacBlitzer was black. So just catching up. So he takes on b2, takes the queen. Ooh. So he has a queen in hand, so the threat is queen at e2 mate if you take something to here, and white resigned. Was there? Could he have just take? Yes, if you just took here, there's also just queen here and queen takes f2. So it's quite unfortunate. So f takes rook equals knight. So really strong counterattack. At what point did this? Yeah. I guess allowing queen takes g2 is the problem. That's basically the problem with game 1. He allowed queen takes g2. Okay, game 2. ZodiacBlitzer is white. So black's got an attack on g2, but white manages to neutralize that attack. And yeah, it looks like black just doesn't quite have enough. Okay, so hi there, Chuck Moulton. Oh, thanks for the subscription as well. It's too kind. So ZodiacBlitzer just taking all the pieces, and his king is safe, and black resigns. So just quickly catching up game 3. I know this is a decisive game. The live game is a decisive game, so I just quickly catching things up. So game 3, again, it's looking not too bad for black, but let's see what happened. Promotes, trying to win a queen, and then backs off. Okay, why not rook takes queen in this position without analyzing too? Yeah, so if rook takes queen, oh, knight takes rook with check. Okay, yeah, the knight was defending that. So this is better. Okay, okay. I need to just go quickly. So he sacks the queen. Okay, so this is getting quite complicated. Gosh. And then black finally finds the mate, because after king a3 and new knight king a3, what's the mate? It's slightly confusing me. Knight b1, king b2, queen at c3. Okay, so and if the king goes this way, just simply a pawn will mate. Okay, so okay, and game 4, Penguin did win with black here, I think. Yeah. So it's a much more sort of closed position than previous games. Gets a good attack on the dark squares, and I feel bad. I'm missing the live game. This is bad, but I just wanted to try and catch up. And you got the mate, and then I just caught the end of game 5, which is a fabulous game. ZodiacBlitzer is black, but it looks like white was doing really nicely. I'm going too fast even, so I'm not really even doing it justice, but okay, so white is doing pretty nice, pretty nicely, but this is a mistake, turns out. Queen takes e7. Yeah, so knight d7 is a mistake. What's the right move in this position? Knight h6 check? Oh, this is really hard. Okay, so knight e7 is a mistake because black gets an amazing counterattack, and this works apparently. But the way it works is knight d1 check, or rook takes f2, rook takes f2, bishop takes f2. At f3 check, you have a queen in hand, so you've got to take it, takes, king has to go to f1, bishop g2 here, and queen here, checkmate. So rook takes f2 to get the pawn to finish off the mate. But he did this instead, didn't quite work, it didn't deserve to work, but he misstepped with his king, apparently. Rook c8, takes, check, king takes, check. He's still safe if you go king c2, rook at c1, and king b3, get a queen, and just drop a pawn on c2, and it's defended. So, and then black has nothing. But instead, he went here, and this is a forced mate. Knight e2 check. Knight at c1 was slightly stronger to cover this square, but it's still mate with knight d2, king a2, rook at a1, king takes a1, queen takes knight, rook takes knight here, and then you pick up a rook with check, and rook checkmate. That was a beautiful mate, but what happened in the game was a slightly worse defense, check, queen here check, rook here checkmate. So amazing comeback win in that game 5. And we just saw game 6, and and here's the live game. And yeah, apologies again that I've missed the live action. This is the game. Oh boy. So Penguin GM coming back in game 7, and I missed all that live action. And let's flip the board just for consistency. So we're looking still from ZodiacBlitzer's perspective. He's trying to win this. He's 4 games to 3 up, 4 games to 2 up, and then this is game 7, and oh god, I should have stuck to the live action. It all went by too quickly. So he loses his queen, and looks like he's got quite a good attack. Rook takes knight. Yeah, he hasn't quite got enough. The counterattack is too strong. King h7, queen at h8. So he doesn't have time for a counterattack. It's like if white does nothing, then maybe there's knight at g3 mate. But yeah, this game is all about he doesn't have time. White doesn't have time. So rook takes knight. So okay, let's learn from our mistakes and stick with the live action. So this is game 8. ZodiacBlitzer now leads only by 4 games to 3, and it's really tight. Hi there, PKR. He says, soon you'll get to game 6 and be in for something. Oh, we saw game 6 live. We saw game 6 live, and it was very, very entertaining indeed. But probably a bit of a waste of, probably some sort of psychological, just sort of situation where probably ZodiacBlitzer should have just thrown in the towel, but he decided to play for the stalemate, and Peng was not falling for tricks. It's the sort of position where I might do what Penguin did, and then actually stalemate my opponent stupidly. So probably like not worth the risk in a way to do what Penguin did, but maybe there's a psychological edge to it. Okay, so Penguin is really, it's a favourite really now to win this, especially this position. It's a more like closed kind of position. This has been a mistake, I feel, because if the bishop drops back and now the bishop lands here, and black's pawns are advancing towards his king, so maybe quite a smart move. Maybe give back the piece. Although that means he will be a piece down. He will be a piece down for a pawn. Hi there, Ominous. I just joined. I mean, I myself just joined a couple of games late, so you're not missing too much. But I did a recap of the first. I very quickly played through the first 5 games. We saw game 6 live. We had to catch up on game 7 because while I was doing a recap of games 1 to 5, game 7 was already over. So ZodiacBlitzer was he started really strong. Like he won the first 3 games, playing really nicely. It was a kind of game 4 Penguin won. Game 5 ZodiacBlitzer was very lucky to win. Penguin really had it in the bag. So, and then game 6, I guess ZodiacBlitzer was hoping for a miracle again, because he was completely losing, and Penguin decided to try and take all his pieces, and at some point decided, okay, I'm going to give mate before things go wrong. Knight at d6, PKR was suggesting. Yeah, knight at d6 looks interesting, with f7 potentially falling. So Peng's definitely got the momentum. Yeah, Peng's got the momentum, and I think here he's got the sort of position. I say he's got the sort of position he wants. So in this position, really, I was feeling black's doing really nicely here, but maybe, I'm not. I think black's doing nicely, but certainly white does have play on the dark squares. Yeah, white does have play, but I just saw that Mugwort's in the chat. So it must be afternoon in Australia. It's 5 a.m. for me. It's just gone 5 a.m. and I don't know. I just happened to see that this match was underway and joined in. Penguin running very low on time. I mean, there is time, but that's risky. So he has to block on g3, I think. Okay, he just goes all in. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So he's just saying this square is covered. Okay, but now black has a lot of knights, so you can't ever take this. Can't ever take this. So you either attack or you defend this square in particular. So he's going for an attack. You could check with the rook and take this maybe. Is there something more concrete? You have to calculate. Does rook takes pawn here do anything? I don't think so. Rook takes pawn, knight h3. I think it's still yeah. Rook takes pawn. I think white's okay here. Omna says early morning Crazyhouse. I love it. Looks like black is safe. It looks like black is safe, but also looks like white is okay as well. Like Okay, so this is obviously he's up to something with this move. What is he up to? This is I don't understand this move. It must be threatening something, but I can't see it. I really don't get that move. Surely it was a mouse slip, right? Knight at h5. Maybe someone in the chat can say. He wanted knight at g3 maybe. So knight at g3, but it is double covered. Ooh. Don't want to lose the queen with check. That's going to be... But the king takes knight's a threat here. So it's a question of, can you afford to take this queen? I don't... Again, What? He's letting white just take everything. Does white have it? Well, black's now got no material, is the basic problem. Black's just blown something, but did he have anything? That's the question, and black resigns. Well, wow. Okay, so I think things look really good for black around... So, okay, so here I thought things looked really good for black. Let's see if I was right in that. No, I was wrong. So how about that? And well, it's just completely misassessing a position. So why? But white was very smart not to go bishop h3. Yeah, bishop h3. The problem is, well, I thought just bishop here, but yeah, apparently that doesn't work. Okay, so it's terrible. I can't assess these positions. But okay, so my real point is that. Okay, so black seems to be doing it pretty nicely here. Is the point? Oh, so there is a direct mate. Rook takes g5, so there is a mate with rook takes g5, king takes g5, f4 check, king g6, queen g5. So I was trying to calculate it, but I didn't see a mate. Queen d to h5 we saw. Rook takes, and that does weaken the back rank. Queen takes rook, g6, rook f8, because is mate. Okay, that is something. That is something. So g6 better, rook f8, and queen here checkmate. Okay, so yeah, I was wondering if there was something there. I didn't see queen h5 sack the queen for rook, and that's enough because of rook f8. That's key. But okay, so here, black is clearly doing nicely, but what's the continuation? Knight. This is a really strange move. Knight to h5. And suddenly at h4 it turns out was a brilliant. I'd have just taken this pawn and continued your attack, but at h4 it turned out to be a brilliant. So if you just do nothing, what is the threat? Knight at f2, rook takes f2, knight takes f2, king g1. Yeah, I'm not clear. Knight at h5 looks like a mouse step of some kind. But yeah, brilliant then. So white then just takes control. Okay, so ZodiacBlitzer is now within one game of winning this Crazyhouse World Championship elimination match. So this is a game as black. Serious stuff. h4, h4, h5, but the h5 pawn has fallen. Check, he's going to pick up that knight. And white's going to go for a counterattack. Opening up the center. Active play. Takes with the queen. Throws in a check, because if bishop takes, queen takes e6. Oh, he gives up the queen to continue the attack. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, this went far too quickly for me. But in a must-win game for Penguin, just to show the finish, because it just finished before I was finished. King here, bishop at e6 check, and knight f3 checkmate. Really, really nice. Really, really nice. Okay, so second match point for ZodiacBlitzer. Let's stick with the live action, and apologies again for missing some of that live action. Yeah, can white pull this off? Wow, good win. Nice, mate. So basically, ZodiacBlitzer has to win with white. He's got a nice control of the center. He's trying to pick up a pawn and then put a pawn on h6. This knight really doesn't really have anywhere to go. It's very hard to stop, just to win a pawn at h6. So what's going to happen here? Black to play. What black often does in these sorts of situations is give up. So just play h6 and gives up the knight. That would be one way. And Katas says, uh-oh, he is facing some Finland. Yeah, this is, well, Capote says knight at e8 is fine for black. Knight, presumably knight e8. Yeah, so just move it. Yeah, or I just thought just at h6. Just h6 rather. But anyway. But what we've seen instead is he takes. Yeah, he's allowed. Yeah, he's allowed. Katsubota said, I think the trade on e5 helps white. It gets the knight to a more aggressive square. And we've seen a huge trade on f7. So we see like a double attack on black on the dark squares and light squares. So let's say if you're in a position in a match situation with a must-win game, you wanted to see the mate. That was the mate in game 9. People want to see that again. Yeah, if you're in a must-win situation, I mean, this is a kind of a dream position. It's not guaranteed, but you've just really blown up this king. And a6 and b5, they're saying looks awful. Maybe wasted time and created too many weaknesses, I guess, is the reason. PKR says all the strong players are here. Yeah, indeed. We have Katask, well, GSVC, can't see him, but he's here. Jasugi99 dropped by. For some reason, oh yeah, they're all here. 50 spectators, so we just don't see them in the list anymore, but they are indeed all here. Cat Poacher, Mugwort, Variant Bunny. Oh yes, so Omnis is saying, are we going to see another clutch win from Penguin? Okay, so just to recap the last few moves. So White just needs to just keep those weaknesses basically. Really, I mean, if you're playing a move like E7, I mean, it really does do D7 does the job of defending, but I mean, look at Black's pieces. They are back on. They're cramped. They're disorganized. Having said that, he isn't mated yet. Rook at f8, just pick up a queen. Seems like seems like a gimme here. Black is hurting. Oh yeah, this and the time Penguin really low on time. Yeah, Rook at f8, it's all over. Rook at f8 takes, and you probably can't even take back because of bishop takes knight, and then you just come in with the queen and do a back rank mate. Oh, he doesn't do Rook at f8. How can you miss Rook at f8? Oh my goodness, did you see this combination? So, hi there, who's there in the chat? Okay, so he finds Rook at f8, okay, and he has a pawn in hand now, so that is a mate threat, probably. Oh no, g7 is covered, but so it's not so clear. It's not so clear. Black does have pawn, knight, and rook in hand. People are saying this is clearly 0-1. Yeah, now it might be, but surely there was a better defense of f2. Now I'm not sure. I wouldn't say it's clearly 0-1 though. There must be some way. There must be some way in. Remember knight at d. Okay, but all the squares are really well covered. This is covered. This is covered. It's not clear. Okay, so he just sidesteps. I don't see. Oh, he shouldn't have allowed. Yeah, he shouldn't have allowed the bishop taking with check. But okay. Like playing it really slow, just going for rook at f1. So really claiming that white has nothing here. Well, what white does have though is time. Even time maybe. Yeah, so as an example, rook here, check, queen takes, pawn takes, queen, check, rook takes. Knight here, check, king here, bishop here. So this is clearly a mate threat. Rook at f1 is clearly a mate threat. Is there anything... Yeah, these squares are both covered. Very interesting. Is there any entry point? Knight here, king here. No, not clear. Interestingly, if he had time to get out the bishop from f8, then queen at f8 maybe... But still, there's no... King is running. The chess will start in 9 minutes. So will the game finish? Will the match finish before that? Okay, so what did he do? He put on a queen. Okay. If queen takes queen, then there's... What's he trying to do? Bishop takes. Really? Oh, okay, so is there a reason why queen takes queen is... Yeah, queen takes queen, bishop takes, yeah. So you want to take that queen with check. My goodness. Is ZodiacBlitzer going to pull this one out? That would be insane. Because there's a check here, there's a check here, potentially. queen takes back this check is the problem. And if you block, there's a smother. It's checkmate. It's checkmate. So 5-5, tie breaks it is. I wouldn't be surprised. So it's anyone's game now, but I wouldn't be surprised if ZodiacBlitzer missed something along the way here. So here. Takes. Queen at d2. So yeah, black. So black is indeed winning here. Bishop takes f7 was solid, but I think he wanted bishop takes queen check. So bishop takes f7 he didn't do because he's afraid of queen takes queen. There's still knight d2, king c2, and you can just take the queen and you're actually completely safe. But okay, so did he actually leave anything? So yes, king here was a complete mistake. He should have gone to c8. By going to c7, bishop d8 check, king c6, rook c8, there are all kinds of dangerous things. If king b7, rook c7. So that was the miss. But in this position, bishop d8, maybe he's dangerous. And maybe king c6 and black is still winning. Okay, so maybe he's fine. King to d6, so he's just dancing away. Okay, I should get back to the tie breaks. So we're missing the opening, so hopefully it's not too interesting. Okay, we're watching from ZodiacBlitzer's perspective. Looks like he has a nice position. People are saying, is it a London or is it a Stonewall Dutch? This setup for black. Looks okay for black. So it's quite, to bishop back on c8 is quite passive, but it looks quite solid. You get a real nice outpost on e5. People saying in the chat how Penguin likes his London system because of course he plays it in normal chess as well. Amna says, is it win by 2? It is indeed. So whoever wins this game will be playing to progress, and whoever doesn't is out of CWC. Yeah, this is chess. No pieces in hand. So you have to say who's got the better chess position here. Interesting. So and since this isn't chess, it's actually Crazyhouse. You also have to say where are the weaknesses. I'd say black has these sorts of weaknesses here, and white, well, here, but so white's not really using the d5 square. So, but d5 is the big weakness, I guess. His bishop's under attack. It's like what is white just hanging a piece? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So, is there a trap? Takes. Apparently this is okay for white, people are saying, but it looks like it's just hanging a piece. And saying that maybe queen takes bishop was the right way to go. But okay, he did this. So if takes, and so there's weaknesses on. That's actually still fine. The bishop's defending. So weakness maybe on g6, but it's still fine. Surely, just takes, but then this knight is kind of weak, and then you have a weakness on g6 next. So I kind of see why he's thinking. But that was a very creative attack. Just going back a second, it looks like you're giving up a whole piece, but it kind of worked because yeah, I don't understand this at all. He's trying to reinforce. Okay, so what am I'm clearly missing something here. He hasn't got diagonals. So if you just took, oh, maybe also it would open up this file. It was the issue. Yeah. So takes. Were there issues along here? Rook takes rook. King I still don't see it, but okay. But then this is clearly worse for black. He hasn't got the diagonals to reinforce his light squares. Or his dark squares for that matter. So quite smart from Pengu using his h4 pawn to crash through. Did he take the right way? So it's very creative play from Penguin this game. I mean, this is a very creative game. I imagine Stockfish will have some things to say about it, though. But we'll see. Lichess restarts in 2 minutes. This is a problem. Not even sure this game will be finished in 2 minutes. Because black is just about holding for now. Knight defending g6. White is very safe, so clearly white has the edge. Technically white is down material, it's just his pieces are much better coordinated. g3 might fall, but I don't think there's a follow-up. Well, there is queen takes g3, knight h3. It's not so clear. Okay, so knight takes is interesting because it defends g3, and the rook is pinned. What is... Okay, what's the continuation here? He's just gonna... I think he's just going to... Yeah, queen takes h5 is another... Queen takes knight. Wow, that was amazing. Amazing combination from Penguin. So he picks back up the queen, but hang on a second, black has a lot of material. Ooh. There could be something here actually if pawn takes knight, like rook h3, and if you take, you're taking here. Black has a lot. Pawn takes knight. He gets the pawn takes knight in, and I think that's going to be it. I think ZodiacBlitzer can take this. I can't see the mate though. But again, if king e2, there's just 2 knight checks. King is going to try and run. Happiness Bunny, hi there. Win by stall. Because Lichess goes down in like 30 seconds. That's true. That's a problem. Lichess restarting. Yeah. Okay. At d2. Oh, so you can't. Definitely can't take that. So why can't he take that? He can't take that because. So queen there, yeah, pawn. Oh, pawn. That was too easy. That was far too easy. They should really pause at this point and let Lichess restart. So probably more challenging. Oh, so king e1 was quite challenging. f2, king d2, knight. So using the 2 knights, knight here, king d3, queen at e2 is a nice. That's a nice combination. That pattern is probably actually a key pattern in the position. So if king here as well, knight at c4. If king c3, then just bishop d2 here and queen here is checkmate. And if you actually take the knight, then this very nice pattern, knight here and queen here is checkmate. And if you try and run, just queen here is checkmate straight away. So ZodiacBlitzer is now playing to win the match as white. It would be interesting to see also in that last game, but black seems to be doing okay. It would be interesting also to see in that last game what went wrong. What went wrong for Penguin? So, okay, so he takes here first, then takes here, then takes back the knight. Don't understand the sack because f7 is protected. So yeah, black is just doing okay here. Yeah, happiness bunny. Yeah, knight d4 was what was an idea. Just yeah, this is just yeah. This is just black's got too much material. This game is really not interesting anymore. So I'm just going to have another look at this game. What went wrong for white this game? I mean, black's position was just a complete train wreck, and this is a nice idea. It was really creative play from Penguin. It really, I mean, honestly, we're just saying how nice a game it was. So takes. Queen takes h5 was strong here. Okay, so takes here, queen here, knight t7, king h7, knight takes f5 as I was saying. Again, it's a really complex position. Knight takes f5 was concrete, I have to say. Takes. It was a concrete idea, but h2 was a nice find. Like if you try and move the queen somewhere, knight g4 is another nice move. So you have to counterattack in this sort of position. Even queen takes g3 was working. So yeah, by this point it's too late, and a really nice mating sequence found. Rook h3, knight f3, these sorts of ideas, this circle of ideas, and really well executed. So where did it go on from Penguin? It's playing really creatively this game, but maybe with knight takes pawn here, instead of taking this pawn here, maybe it relieved the pressure somewhat. Just staying solid. The problem is g3 was potentially falling here, so it's quite difficult to see how to continue. So h4, queen takes g3, then knight to d7. I mean, I'm just not clear why. King h7, queen h5, this sort of thing. At h6. I don't know. Just maybe maybe just playing somehow more solid in this position. But if you play very solid moves like at h2, then yeah, I guess there was a material edge. So then black can sort of, so it's not playing, yeah, playing solid wasn't the answer then. He had to keep the initiative somehow. Okay, so this game is continuing. The problem with this game is black has all the material, and he's threatening queen f1 mate. It's just dire. So white's threatening mate, so black defends. Again, white is threatening mate. I think it's just a case of black just needs to defend the mates and everything's fine. Rook takes pawn. Okay, so why does he want... I mean, is there a mate threat? And if there's not a mate threat, we can just take this knight. But is there a mate threat? I mean, there's also queen here, check, king takes, bishop takes, pawn check, but then knight takes. But then queen takes, pawn mate. Okay, that's good. So after bishop takes pawn, he would block. But then we could go, yeah, don't see. So he just wants to promote. But sorry, these are defended. Didn't notice that. Got to be careful here. In the meantime, no real counterattacking chances because the bishop checks the block. Maybe this, but then this defends everything. Okay, so he does counterattack. I don't see anything here. I mean, the king can even just take here. What is there? He wants this. Creative, I have to say, creative. Creative attacking. Yeah, no, white has nothing here. And now the rook is no longer defending g2. So this is dire. Knight d2 promotes. Knight here and queen here, checkmate. Yeah, easy. So, tiebreak again. It's 6-all in the match, indeed. ZodiacBlitzer has had 3 game match points, as it were. So 3 times he was 5-3 up, but Penguin won the clutch game twice in a row to bring it to 5-5, and now he's 6-5 up, and he just won. Penguin just won the clutch game to take it to 6-6. And IJ8 says time for Peng to stop trolling and win the double tie breaks. And Jasugi says I need an animal suggestion for an alt. Variant Bunny is going to direct message an idea. So Variant Bunny is a bunny. What animal is Jasugi? Oh, so there were other messages I missed. PKR said black has too much material. The game isn't interesting anymore. And while Jasugi says this looks 1-0 immediately afterwards. Really? Okay, that's funny. That is interesting. So if I just check the... So the point I was saying is here, I mean... So white just seemed to be sacking quite heavily. Takes, check, takes, rook here. And it was at this point I left, I think. After like rook here and queen takes pawn. Yeah, and then I rejoined at this point, and yeah, I thought it was just protect the threats and you should be fine. But was there a clear mating idea? No, like queen at f1 immediately. No mating idea. Queen at f1, king h2. To nothing. Maybe bishop takes knight. White's still defending. So yeah, back to the current game. I think white sacked too hard that game. So this game, what do we see? We see a very safe setup from ZodiacBlitzer. He's a strong attacker. So he's probably going to keep his king in the center. Well, he is going to keep his king in the center because both his rooks have now developed. Happiness Bunny says, I chose rabbit because of my zodiac here. And PKR says, yeah, he agreed with me, but just found it funny. I guess just, yeah, it's probably... I mean, white probably did have potential in the position, maybe a move or two earlier, but I don't know, it needed... It was just hard to find the right moves for white in that position. And this position, well, this is a very chessy position, isn't it? I mean, neither player has any pieces in hand. How are you going? Yeah, how are you going to break in? Interesting. So h3 looks to be a target for black. What about for white? Probably a target for white is just try and get some back rank stuff going eventually. Try and get in on the flanks. You know, with a7 and h7, get some flank attacks. Get your pieces in on a7 or h7 and maybe cause trouble. So black has more obvious weaknesses. And we're seeing that already. White is crushing. People are talking about. So just to recap. So indeed, black tries to break through on h3, but the counterattack comes on the flank as we said it would. Yeah, this is not going to go well for black. The knight's defending the light squares. Probably you can just take on g3. Is probably okay. You might want to put some pieces on first. Oh, maybe there's even a mate coming. Yeah, bishop f7, king e7, because the queen's actually cutting off the king. He's looking for the mate, no doubt. So you have to try and think, what piece will mate a king on e7? Well, that's simple. A knight on f5. So yeah, I'm almost seeing it, but not quite. There is a mate here somewhere. It's just where. King wants to run this way, but it's not going to work. Okay, we can take that and do that at some point. Tracing a rook, okay. So I guess you block, then you take king here. I mean, not able to see king here, knight here, check. Yeah, so queen takes, I think, king here. I don't know if this rook check was useful because this bishop is now going to provide cover on the row as well as the file. Yeah, so this is not the most forcing. So it's obviously completely lost for black, but I just feel there was a satisfying mate that was missed. Yeah, so Jasugi was obviously trolling with his 1-0 last game and 0-1 this game. There's just nothing for black here. It's nothing for black, it's just I can't see the mate. The problem is if you move the knight, suddenly you give him a squares to go to. Rook at g7. Rook at g7 takes. That was promising. Okay, white's just taking all the material now, clearly. Not going for mate. New knight, king goes here, pawn goes here, king goes here, knight here, checkmate. Ugh, he really is trolling now. I mean, it did work for him. Okay, I'm going to actually look what was the neater mate that last game, because I'm sure there was something really nice. I'm sure there was something really nice that game. When the moment he moved his bishop takes bishop, king takes queen here, this is already forced mate, I'm sure. King e6. Apparently not. Stockfish depth 13, still can't see a forced mate. Queen here, check, pawn here. So, why is it not a forced mate? So just queen takes. Yeah, it is forced mate. So the point is, if king d, this knight c4 check was the idea I was thinking. The idea is if you take it, yeah, bishop at c5 is mate. And if you run up, then, okay, I didn't see it, but at d4, king b5, rook a5, king takes, and queen back is checkmate. So, so knight c4 is the key mating idea, which I did see. And whereas if he drops back this way, what's the mating idea then? Apparently it says bishop at c5. Bishop at c5. If he just defends. If he just defends, does this. So what about if he just goes here? Rook at e5. Okay, these are things I just did not see at all, and I don't really understand fully. If I just go pawn here, knight take c6. Okay, so I'm not seeing this at all. So apparently there's some nice mates here. I was thinking knight g6 as being the obvious move, but apparently that doesn't exactly work. So knight takes c6, d takes c6, rook at e5, crazy move, I guess take it, but then knight g6, then we step back and queen takes bishop is mate. So really complex ideas, but yeah, queen takes c5 at the point is mating in this position. Okay, so that's queen g4 and queen takes f5 is mating in this position. Okay. Whereas going directly for, in fact, queen f5 straight away is mating. Yeah, same sort of ideas. Okay, back to the live action. I'm sorry. Why do I get sucked up into analysis? So Penguin won this game, same opening as Black, so he's going to try and repeat it. But White's solid, but I think he has to get some attacking potential in, because that's where ZodiacBlitzer will play his best. So yeah, White's doing okay here, I think. So let's see what people are saying in the chat. Variant Bunny, this is an amazing match. Cat Butcher says, I want more games. Hopefully White wins. Yeah, well, White's doing nicely. Yeah, but if anyone on the Discord wants to join the chat, do join in. What's going to happen here? So I'm thinking bishop takes g6 and knight at f7 is one idea. So that's why he goes to f8 instead, to try and make that less appealing. But there are other ideas, exactly, with bishop takes g6, still an interesting idea. But what's the follow-up after f takes? So queen takes rook at some point, rook g1 is not... It's actually a mate... Yeah, ooh. So queen takes rook at some point is kind of annoying, because rook at g1 takes. You can get a queen on h2 if you want it. But the king might still run. But there are interesting ideas. Or sorry, bishop at h2, queen at g1. Okay, so at some point queen takes rook, but maybe White's got his own mating ideas here, so you've got to be careful. Just takes the bishop casually. Yeah, so in fact, Katas was saying queen e4 as well. That's what I was wondering about myself. Does queen e4 work? Okay, so he does this. It sort of looks like it's setting up a pattern here. But is it? So king h8, king f7, king h7. Where are we going to go? King h7. Okay, just knight g5 or knight at g5. What's the plan? Maybe knight g5 was better because then we could have done new knight at f7 and pawn at h7. So knight g5 looked like it was stronger. Knight g5. Okay, so white just goes for safety. Seems reasonable, although would have been fun to attack, but okay. And now black's getting a chance to defend. White wants a pawn for f7, but doesn't have it. Could just take on h2. No, yeah. Yeah, you could just take on h2, I guess, but then black puts a pawn on f7. Then pawn h7. Okay, white's just going in. It makes sense. h6 is also weak now, actually, so h6 at h6, king takes, and there could be some nasty discoveries potentially. Can't see it, but there could be. Black clearly believes it because he does not take that knight. Well, at h6 looks good now, anyway. Oh, no, he should have gone at h6. So the problem is white's pieces are where he wants other pieces to be. Like he wants a bishop on e6. Oh, he gets his wish. Bishop on e6. Okay, this is game over. Yes, this is game over. We're going to go into a tiebreak again. I mean, Penguin is low on time, and this is a dire position. Oh man, he's playing this slowly though. Rook takes knight, so knight h6 is an idea. But that was a really nice move, this bishop on d5, both attacking intent but also defending g8. Knight on h6 is defended, so it's good. Yeah, winning against this penguin guy is pretty hard. I think he's just going for rook takes knight. Simple. Rook takes knight and knight g5 looks like the plan. But penguin's just very good at putting on pieces. Okay, queen takes knight. Sure, does it work yet? Knight here. Yeah, maybe it doesn't work. Queen h6, but does that work? Queen h6, queen takes. Ah, what? What? I do not believe it. I just cannot believe it. So you can't take the pawn because queen h1 is mate. He just gets back rank mated. Rook and queen in hand. I mean, just queen takes knight or something, right? I mean, yeah, queen takes knight is completely winning. If you take back, oh, queen at g8 is checkmate. Ah, so you can't even take that queen. And these sorts of ideas don't work. Okay, if you take this rook, then you get mated because queen blocks, takes, and rook h1 checkmate. But black doesn't have a second heavy for h1, so it's all over. Just queen takes knight, simple. So I'm quite surprised because white was completely crushing this game, but gosh, Penguin is so good at just hanging in there. So I was saying here, maybe at h6. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was not so good for white as I thought. Impressive then. The fact that this is actually not so clear. No, because in this position, of course, it wasn't so clear because white's pieces were always sort of in the way of each other. But yeah, taking that knight, yeah, she should have gone knight takes knight to cover e6. That was quite key. But now, yeah, once he lost the queen, this is really just game over. Just playing moves like this is just too slow. This is a mistake apparently. Just yeah, rook at f7. The beautiful idea is if rook takes. Yeah, I don't see it actually. I don't see that. If rook takes f7, because we don't have queen g8 and the knight's covering it. I don't see why you want to do that. Rook at e7. It's not so. Yeah, it's hard just to see the finish. Yeah, I saw this rook at e7 idea. So if you take queen takes, maybe you get a rook at some point. So the idea is this takes. We still got a queen in hand. So rook at h8. If you just take it, then knight takes f7. You win the rook with check. If you go king g7, bishop f8 takes. Well, this is quite complicated now. Queen here check. Rook here check. There's this kind of thing. It just gets checkmate. So taking here makes sense, but then knight takes rook. Bishop takes knight makes a lot of sense, but then queen at h6 block. Bishop g7 here, and rook mates. Okay, so and if you don't take that rook, if you just try and block, well, knight takes f7 is an idea. You're clearing away the square for the queen, and you have then discovery ideas on the 7th rank. Yeah, so at this point, white was in total control. And okay, so with this move, he gives back the control. And this is the point where Penguin found very good moves. So starting with bishop at d5, these are really impressive moves. The sequence of moves from Penguin. This is coming back and winning a completely lost position. So I think we should we should end by just examining these the moves in completely lost positions that even Stockfish wouldn't necessarily find. So bishop at e5. So they're not necessarily the strongest moves according to Stockfish. So Stockfish had other ideas of bishop takes rook, but they're really sort of harassing. No, using the fact white only had a queen in hand, so he's trying to get leverage in here, maybe a pawn on e2 at some point. So he takes the rook. Already, in fact, rook at g1 is mating here. Rook at g1. So if you take it, you get mated. King takes, and rook at e1. If you block, it just gets taken. So you just go here, but then there's knight at f1 check. So you have to block just to stop knight at f1 check. Rook takes f1, king h2, bishop g1, king h1, bishop takes f2, king h2, bishop takes g3. So this is defended. So you have to go queen takes g3. You're losing a queen with check, and this is all over. King takes g3. This square is defended, so it's not so clear. But knight e4, king h4, or h2, queen g3 is checkmate. So already, in fact, Penguin had enough to mate in this position. And if you just go king takes h2, just simply rook takes rook, and white's mate isn't fast enough. Black is threatening mate in 1 and white can't. Okay, so just harassing white and wow. And he finally does find the mate. Let's just see the chat. Best tie breaks. What a throw. Wow. My prediction was right, says IJH, because he was predicting a double tie break. Turned out to be a treble tie break. Because oh, was it a double tie break? Oh, it was a double. No, it was a double tie break, yes. The first tie break was also tied, and the second tie break, Penguin won. I'd already put this down as a ZodiacBlitzer. Win this game, and so I just took it for granted this was going to go into a third tie break. Amazing comeback from Penguin to take the second tie break, to come back from 5-3 down to 5-all, from 6-5 down to 6-all, and take the match 8-6, and he progresses to the next round of the elimination. Wow, it was a really tough match for both these players to have to face each other. And just at the end, Mugwort says queen takes f6 on move 44. Queen takes f6. I thought queen takes f6 was good, but let's just open this up on analysis board a second. Queen takes f6, rook at f1 check, king takes h2, and bishop takes g3. So you can't take this because you're going to have the problem. Black will have a rook in hand for h1 whenever you take it. So you have to go take here. Bishop takes g3. F takes g3. So of course rook can never take this queen, but this rook could take the queen. And what's this continuation? Knight at g5. If you take here, bishop at g7, rook takes g7. I don't see this at all, so I'm going to play through it. Bishop at g7. If king takes, queen here is checkmate, so rook takes is forced. Knight e6 check. So it's a discovery. We could take stuff in the way or put a pawn here. So at some point we're going to get a pawn here anyway, so basically you have to move. Okay, maybe put a pawn here. Bishop takes g5, king here, just so the knight can never come there. Queen h6, king here, queen takes g7. Yeah, you can't stop the queen getting in on h6 and taking on g7. So king takes h6 is wrong, but king h8 is still unclear, maybe. But maybe there are, so knight h7, knight h to f7 check, takes, really unclear. Queen here check, apparently you have to block, turns out you have to block with the queen. Knight takes rook check, rook takes, so this would have been quite intense, and apparently white doesn't have anything clear here. And meantime, knight at f1 is a problem. Knight at f1 check, how do you defend? So yeah, really unclear, as Mugwort said. Really interesting position. Queen is defended. You just need to stop knight at f1, so you have to go rook f3 just to stop knight f1. Thing is, knight f1 can come anyway. So this is, I don't know, I think black might be taking over. E takes f, which are we going to do? E takes f1, queen takes f6. Queen takes, bishop takes, e takes f1, knight, rook takes f1. Yeah, black So knight to f1 is actually a mate threat. This is the problem. It's knight at f3 check, rook takes f3, queen at g1, king takes g1, f2, check. You don't want to take it with the king because then you get checked, so rook takes. Knight here. You don't want to take this with the rook because otherwise rook comes in here and king comes in here. So you go here. Rook at h1 check. And the point of that is just so you can grab that with check. If you go here, knight f1, so it just goes here. Knight t2, king h2, knight f1 check anyway. Rook takes f1, at g3, king comes back. He takes this rook and checkmate. So that's the black counterattack that white was facing. That is scary stuff. And I don't know how to defend against it, to be honest. So queen takes f3, definitely the good starting move. But bishop takes g3, takes, rook takes, knight here, king h8, key move. And then, yeah, I don't know how white actually deals with this knight at f1 threat. It's really very difficult. I mean, Stockfish is saying knight h8, f7, but we just looked at this. It's not clear how you continue. Really not clear how you continue. Like what? Rook f3 doesn't work. We just saw. So how do you defend this knight at f1 threat? It's really unclear. And if you can't defend it, then actually black is winning after all. So, yeah, really nice point by Mugwort. So, what's happening in the elimination? So, just to bring this up on the screen, hopefully, you can see some of this. So, let's see. Can I see where Penguin? Huh. Okay, just going to have to search for it. I can't search for it. Okay. So I'll be playing Morlock this afternoon. That will be. I haven't really played Crazyhouse very much. I don't know. I feel I have played some Crazyhouse, but I feel quite out of form right now. So I have very low expectations for that match. This was not an elimination match. My goodness, I'm sorry. I completely misreported. This is actually this is on. I thought Penguin and ZodiacBlitzer both had. Okay, so I'm just completely wrong. Penguin and ZodiacBlitzer were both unbeaten. This is a round 3 match to go into round 4 and face VariantsOnly. Wow. Okay, this is not an elimination match. I've just been completely misreporting the state of this match. Okay, so this is actually very exciting. And let's just see if they beat whoever wins between VariantsOnly. How many? It's just very hard to see how many more matches. Let's just sort of zoom out of this somehow. Okay, I think Masterstand Mugwort is going to be a big match in round 4. I think if people win 5 matches, how many? 60. So after 1 match it's 64. After 2 matches 32. After 3 matches 16. After 4 matches 8. After 4 matches 8. Is that right? 128, 64, 32, 16, 8. So after, yeah, so the winner of Mustang Mugwort will definitely be in the candidates. I think that's right. So likewise, the winner of Penguin against VariantsOnly will definitely be in the candidates. I think that's accurate. Okay, so wow. Okay, so congratulations to Penguin. That he puts himself very close to being in the candidates if you can beat VariantsOnly, or else VariantsOnly goes through. So it's going to be a close match. ZodiacBlitzer will have to go into the elimination. Probably there'll be many rounds to go before he finds an opponent because people are still. So this is match 189. So if I just go to the, okay, I'm sorry, this is not ideal. If I go to 189 in the elimination, this will be quite a long way away. Okay, I don't know where it's going to be, but 189 will play Bio Miller, and the winner of that will play Arch of Deception, and so on. Okay. So ZodiacBlitzer is going to have to play a lot more rounds to be able to qualify to the Crazyhouse World Championship. Okay, so sorry I wasn't clear about that. So just to go through what's happening in the main draw, round 4 we're going to have Schwanet against Zek, VariantsOnly against Penguin, Bugzilla against the Finisher, Chicken Crossroad against Clearcast, Mugwort against Master Tan, King Switcher against Jeremy Durham, GSVC against Little Plotkin, and GSVC's won that, and Jasugi99 against Atamek. And I think the winners of all those matches will surely find themselves in the candidates, and they will play a round 5 match. To actually just the round 5 matches will just be $100 matches for prize money. Okay, sorry for being confusing there at the end. Yeah, really interesting end to the match. So great comeback win, back rank mate. Most important mating technique in Crazyhouse, as in chess, to know your back rank mate. And ZodiacBlitzer says, I lost because I'm not an animal. So with that, good luck to both players and the rest of the Crazyhouse World Championship 2020.